The aliens didn't trust humans, but they still hired them because no one else was crazy enough to take the mission, and that alone should have been a warning, because when every other species refuses a job and humans accept it without hesitation, it usually means one thing: they see something others don't, or they know something others don't, and in this case it was both. But the alien commanders didn't care. They had a problem, and humans were expendable enough to solve it, so they brought in a small team of human mercenaries, dropped them onto a war-torn mining planet, and gave them one simple objective: clear out whatever was hiding beneath the surface and secure the core facility, and in return they would be paid more credits than most species would earn in a lifetime, which sounded like a good deal on paper. But the moment the humans arrived, they already knew something was off, because the silence on that planet wasn't normal. It wasn't just empty, it felt wrong, like something was watching and waiting. And one of the humans looked at the others and said, "This isn't a cleanup job, this is containment." And that was the moment they realized the aliens hadn't told them the truth, but instead of backing out, they moved forward anyway, because humans don't walk away from danger. They move toward it, especially when someone is lying. And as they entered the underground facility, the lights flickered, and the entire structure felt unstable, like it had been abandoned in a hurry, and that only confirmed their suspicion this wasn't a job, this was a trap. And the aliens had sent them in first to see what would happen, and as they moved deeper, strange sounds echoed through the tunnels, not mechanical, not natural, something in between. And one of the humans quietly activated a scanner, which immediately spiked with unknown readings spreading across every level of the facility. And that's when the first attack came, fast, violent, and completely unexpected, as something massive moved through the shadows, taking out one of the drones before anyone could react. But the humans didn't panic. They adapted instantly, forming positions, covering angles, responding with controlled fire instead of blind chaos. And whatever was down there quickly realized these weren't normal targets, because humans don't freeze. Under pressure they focus, and within seconds the fight shifted from ambush to resistance, and then from resistance to control, as the humans started predicting movement patterns, tracking the creature behavior, forcing it into a disadvantage. And when it finally revealed itself fully, it wasn't just one creature, it was many connected, moving like a single intelligence, something that had evolved beyond simple biology. And that's when everything made sense. The aliens hadn't failed to clear this place. They couldn't, because this wasn't an enemy you could overpower. It was one you had to outthink, and unfortunately for the aliens, they had just sent in the one species in the galaxy that specialized in exactly that. And as the fight continued, the humans changed tactics, completely switching from direct engagement to manipulation, triggering environmental systems, collapsing tunnels, redirecting energy flows, turning the facility itself into a weapon. And slowly, piece by piece, they started breaking the creature's advantage until it was no longer hunting them, it was trying to survive them. And above the surface, the alien commanders were watching everything unfold, expecting to see the humans fail, expecting confirmation that the threat was uncontrollable. But what they saw instead made them uneasy, because the humans weren't just surviving. They were winning, and worse, they were learning and adapting faster than the thing they were fighting. And one of the commanders finally said, "We may have made a mistake hiring them, but it was already too late." Because down in the facility, the humans had reached the core, and instead of destroying it like they were ordered to, they did something else. They took control of it, because they had figured out what the aliens really wanted. This wasn't about eliminating a threat, this was about containing a power source they couldn't control, and using humans as disposable tools to test it. And that didn't sit well with them at all. So instead of completing the mission as instructed, they changed it. And when the alien commanders tried to regain control of the situation by sending a shutdown command, the system didn't respond, because it wasn't theirs anymore, and a new signal replaced it, one written in human code, locking them out completely. And that's when the message came through, clear, direct, and impossible to ignore, from the leader of the human team, saying, "You should have been honest with us, and now you don't get to decide what happens next, and before the aliens could respond, the entire facility powered up under human control, stabilizing the creature, instead of destroying it, turning it from a threat into an asset. And in that moment, the balance of power shifted completely. Because now, the humans weren't just mercenaries, they were the ones holding something the entire galaxy would fear, and as silence filled the command deck above, one of the aliens asked the question none of them wanted to say out loud: what are they going to do with it? And the answer came seconds later, as the humans transmitted their final message: we're going to do what you couldn't, we're going to control it, and then we're going to decide who deserves it. And just like that, the species they thought they could use had become the one they would have to answer to.